Let's talk about while loops in Python. We'll run this program one line at a time and see what's going on. In the very first line, we are taking the value of 0 and assigning it into the I variable. In the next line of code, we see the while keyword. Now the while keyword is indicating that we are starting our while loop. What follows from the while keyword is always going to be a Boolean condition. Now a Boolean condition is simply a yes or no question that the code is going to ask. So here we are checking to see whether I is less than 3. I currently has the value 0, 0 is less than 3, so this Boolean condition is true. When the Boolean condition is true, the while loop will always execute the next line of code that is indented and underneath the while keyword. So that will be this line here. What happens now is the star is displayed on the screen. There it is. And then we're going to execute the next line of code that is indented. Here we are going to make I go up by 1. So I will change from 0 to 1. Once all the lines of code which are indented are executed, the while loop always goes back up to the top and asks the condition again. So even though the condition is at the beginning of the while loop, it is always checked at the end of the while loop as well. So now I has gone from 0 to 1. We're going to evaluate the condition, and now we see that 1 is still less than 3, so we go back into the while loop, we display the second star, and I goes up by 1 again, so it changes from 1 to 2. Notice this print statement at the end here. This is not executed because while the condition is true, we are only executing the lines of code that are indented. So let's take a look at what happens next. We jump back up to the top. I is now 2. I is still less than 3, so this condition is still true. We enter our loop again, we display the third star, we increment I from 2 to 3, we then check our condition again. The condition is always checked at the end of the loop. So 3 is now not less than 3 because 3 is equal to 3. So this Boolean condition is now false. When the condition is false, none of the indented lines of code are executed, and the next line of code is the one that is underneath the while statement that is not indented. So now we finally get to the print statement, and we are going to display the value of I on the screen, which is 3. So that's how a while loop works in Python.